Hello. Welcome to the first Friday edition of the Tonk7 TMI show with my co-host Culler Commentary. Thank you for joining us tonight. Happy Friday. What is it, the 20th? We're almost into June. It's hopefully going to start getting warm out soon, so we'll see. Yeah, it's been a while since we've been on air. Go Gators. And just been busy, things going on, and it's not the worst time of year to not have much news, information, or topics to discuss. But yeah, so we're back and ready to go. What's up, Culler? How you doing, man?
Not much, man. Better than ever. Glad to see you back. Sorry about Tuesday night, man. We all kind of like got imploded. Our lives imploded, I guess, all of us. So that's okay. We're here. It's Friday night. Gotta love it.
Nice. Well, usually trying to always make it every Tuesday. 9 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Tuesdays, and then Color Commentary usually 10 p.m. Eastern time on Thursdays, and then we just have, of course, Capitan doing his thing all throughout the week. And
Saturdays we've got the new Elite Exhale show. So actually, Brent, I want to try to get Elite to come on and do a TMI with you probably next week or something like that. So yeah, we're still out there cranking it, boys.
Yeah, we it's just the dog days of the sports world right now. So
did you get a chance to catch Ali's show Saturday, Tonk?
No. I was super busy last Saturday. I was like mega busy. Oh yeah. So, and don't forget, check out the merch. I don't know if you guys, I think I'm the only one. Leave it to me to be the first one to do something, especially like this. But I finally got me a hat. I think it looks good. And it was just been waiting in my closet, man. Freaking show ain't happening. We've been busy, but it feels good to bring it out. And what's up, everyone in the comments? Thank you for joining us. Thank you for commenting. I like the vibes I get from people who watch the show and comments and stuff like that, and just coolness about it. So I like it a lot. Always like and share, comment. We appreciate it. I forgot how many subscribers we have now. But once it starts,
billion. We got a billion.
Yeah, I mean we're getting to, we're definitely happy where we are.
I think we're at 1.26K. It's about 1,200 and a half. That was weird. Sweet. 1,200 and a half. Who talks like that, right?
Daddy, chill.
TMI. It's Finn's talk, math talk. So yeah, we got a nice lineup for you tonight. Got some crazy things to maybe go over, but we'll start off with something cool. A woman is her name was Kelsey Whitmore. She was the first woman to start a game in the Atlantic League. I think that's like a AAA team or a farm team. And she's one of the first women to be connected to Major League as a player. So it's cool. It's like interesting that we're starting to see these articles pop up, about players in Major League and just, see the transition that it's starting to make, college and professional sports. They're going through a lot of changes. And I think a lot of the changes are good. I like seeing it, I think it's interesting. I remember, what was it? It was like a long time ago, like 30 or 40 years ago. There was a tennis match it was a championship between a man and a woman. I forgot who the players were, but I wish we had more of that too.
You mean back in the 80s? You talking about back in the 80s?
I think so. I want to see it's in like Europe somewhere. I haven't looked that up.
They made a movie about it.
Yeah, there wasn't that.
Steve Carell plays in the movie, if I recall correctly.
Oh, Foxcatcher? No,
not that. That's another crazy story movie. That was the Rothschild
I think
guy
it was
friggin'.
Yeah, I think it was Billie Jean King and what's his name?
I wish we saw more of that. Like, imagine Venus Serena going up
Billy.
against like Djokovic or Roger Federer. I mean, that would be awesome to see that matchup. That would be like awesome.
Famous tennis player's name, the dude, John McEnroe.
It's like
John McEnroe. It was John McEnroe and Billie Jean King played each other.
See,
back in the 80s.
That's cool. I like it. I think I really.
The battle of the sexes.
Yeah,
the battle of the sexes.
I don't know. I find it interesting.
We knew how to do it back in the 80s, bro. They all call us. They all call us old prudes and old timers and boomers. We're the ones that knew how to do it back then.
Back before they banned wrestling out of the Olympics. Like, how you going to take out one person versus one person sport? That's the most Olympic thing you can have, is 1 versus 1 in like a field somewhere. Like, you can't get more Olympics than that, dude.
Guys,
I remember hearing. I think that was like 2013. Because I remember I went to a concert and there was a dude there wearing a T-shirt that said "Keep wrestling in the Olympics." I was like, "Oh yeah," and it was just crazy. Like, I don't know. It's an interesting world we're in. It's starting to transition, but then they take away stuff. But yeah. So I don't know. I like hearing things like that, especially like, especially competition and sports. And diversity in sports. So
hey, wherever it's got to come, if she can bring it, she can bring it. Whatever.
Always,
that's what I've always said.
Always. And that's cool that you remembered what match I was talking about, and because that must have been really cool.
Those are the types of things that shaped our lives growing up. I mean, that's this new notion that you hear that we as old timers and old boomers don't know what's up. No, we know what's up.
Yeah, always.
We just also know how to be reserved. You know what I mean? That's the only difference.
Like, I grew up with technology.
I don't think McEnroe like wiped the court with her or nothing. I think it was a fairly even match.
Yeah, I never actually watched the actual match. But I heard about it, and I never heard that it was a beat down or whatever you want to call it. Like she got destroyed.
It was a respectable match. That's what
I heard about it. I don't know. It's kind of like old movies. Like I'm not really into like super old movies. So like old film and stuff. I don't know. I've just never really been into like watching it.
Right.
Like I go to like a certain year and I'm just like, all right, but like, the only movie that I can actually watch that's really old is like Evil Dead. And you can thank El Capitan for that.
Yeah, there's a few Bruce Campbell fans at the Finn's tailgate.
Yeah.
Die Hard, bro. This is my.
I remember him having
stick,
those
bro.
movies when we were like middle school.
Yeah, this is my boomstick, bro.
Look at Jay, there's a tear in my beer. Well, Jay, I wasn't talking about old crab apples. I was talking about old timers, Love you, buddy. I know he'll be up here to challenge me on that, Tonk.
Man, this almost looks like our next topic.
Right on. What you got for us next?
What's up next? El Capitan, what you doing? There you go. NFL schedule. Like I was looking online every week to see if that schedule was dropped yet, because I wanted to see if the Seahawks and the Bucs were going to play each other, and more specifically, which stadium.
Mm-hmm.
And then the first game they announced is Seahawks Bucs in Germany, and I'm like, come on!
Oh, you're kidding me,
dude! I didn't even think about that.
I didn't even know that.
Like I was hoping that it was going to be the Seahawks to go to Tampa.
Now here's the thing.
I'm going to that game.
Flying to Germany, I guess.
Yeah, I do.
And soon, I just want to say one thing. Having been born in Stuttgart, Germany, like we're talking a different level. I mean, honestly, us down here, you know how it is, Tonk. We're Miami fans. Most of us, we don't really go to I guess if it's the Super Bowl, I know. And I guess if it's the Super Bowl, we probably roll with the Bucs or the Jags, but I mean, generally we're not like that. But when you're talking about on an international scale, when you're talking about going to Germany and representing your country, go Bucs, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say. In Germany, go Buccaneers.
I know I wonder if that's the farthest an NFL game has happened, because they've been happening in London, right? But like, I don't think they've gone farther than London.
Did they ever do one I think they might have done one in Tokyo back in the day.
Oh, well, I guess that would be almost the equivalent to, or maybe shorter. I don't know.
They're just
what
like
team? Because if it's like, a Las Vegas, a California team, it's not as far to Japan as it is like, the East Coast.
Right.
The Eagles.
Right.
Like
I don't know. The Pacific Ocean is pretty big.
I know, but so is our country.
Yeah, and I guess Japan sits sort of towards the north, so they hit that northern arc and probably get there a lot quicker than we think. Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. So I don't know. I was like so excited to see if they were playing each other, and I'm just like, I mean, it gives me a great reason to go to Germany, but I was also trying to find a reason to go to Florida.
Right.
Make like another, make a.
Man, I'd love to go back home.
Kind of have my
y'all want to
cake
go to Germany.
Too, like be able to go to the game I want to go to, and to visit, a city that I don't go to too often anymore. Right, what's up, Joe? What's up, Miami sports fans? Jay, and there's some other people commenting too, man. Thank you, y'all, for joining us. But anyways, the NFL schedule, I'm glad it's out. It's I want to look at some games. Like, I don't know now, like I don't know, like what I want to decide if I'm, like I really want to see Tom Brady play, on the Bucs. I just want to see it. So I guess I'll have to
how
decide.
do you feel about that? You don't feel like it's a cheap way to get a Super Bowl with Brady like you guys did?
He didn't grow up, getting beat up in the division like that. Tonk's always been a good Dolphins fan and purview, but like you don't look at it like Dolphin fans look at it. Like to me, it would look at it like I'm giving in to Tom Brady, and The only way I can win is by having him on my team.
You know, Chris, if it didn't bring us to 500 with 6 appearances, that's like the only way I'd accept it. Because, you know, put Brady aside, we'd be at 500 in the Super Bowl with 6 appearances. That's so much different than being 2-3 with 5 appearances, in my opinion. I don't know.
And I see, like, I don't know. We weren't complaining when LeBron James came down to Miami, you know, and formed a big 3. So, I mean, I don't know. I think regardless of, and it's funny that Brady is in 2 of our topics right now. Yeah, so I'm glad the schedule's out, like I was saying, and interested in trying to figure out what game I want to go to this season. So since it won't be in Tampa. And then so speaking of Tom Brady, did you see that he put it on his TikTok originally, but of that video of him saying that the tuck rule, or that game he was, what did he say in the video? He said that it was a fumble. He's like, oh, it might have been a fumble. I don't know. Do you think that was smart of him to do that?
Why not at this point? You know what I mean?
I mean, I don't know.
I think Cap has a meme for that, but I don't like to get on the controls on your show.
If you got it, get it. Because I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know which meme you are. Hit it.
The Madhouse, the Madhouse one.
Oh yeah, it's too late now.
I know it's too late, but Tonk and I have never discussed whether he wants me to do all that or not. So I just defaulted to not.
Yeah. Well, since you brought it up on air, let's just go ahead and follow through with what you originally thought.
See, I'm gifted. I can read people.
It's good to be back, guys. It's good to be back.
Appreciate you back, man.
So
what do you think what do you think about it?
I mean, it's like I feel like he's kind of like rubbing it in someone's face, or I don't know. Was it something petty? Was it like, I don't know, but I don't want to compare it to what I'm going to compare it to, but it's the only thing I could think of. And it's like how OJ, he got off for, murder, criminally anyways. And then he wrote a book on if he did do it, how he would have done it. It's kind of like, I don't know. It gave me the
That's
same
a great
vibe.
analogy, by the way.
It gave me a similar
vibe.
My
God, bro, dude, like that's like the perfect analogy for it. It's like,
reading my
book.
Hey, Tonk, you've been reading my books, man. I haven't published that one yet. I haven't published that analogy book.
I don't want to
That was
compare
brilliant.
the two because one is so much worse than the other. It's like I don't want to compare anything to that whole situation with OJ ever, but I was like, well,
but it is literally the same thing. It is literally the same thing. That's hilarious.
We'll see how, and not to like brag or boast, but you said to me, and I think it's because of how I read things and measure them. It's the same. It could be, it's similar because of like if you just look at the base of the problem, like the what actually happened between humans, like it's almost the same. It's just on a different scale. So, and
Sure.
You said that like I see things like I'm fair-minded and stuff like that. So.
It's just like, it kind of like with like ancient history, it's like all the stuff that has happened in human history. We're all doing the same thing over again. Nothing we do is new. The only difference is our tables are made out of plastic and metal and other materials instead of marble and granite and whatever else. You know what I mean? We have an electric washing machine instead of a washboard down at the river. That's the only difference. But everything else is the same.
I mean, people still use that down on the river with the washboard, though. So,
and you even see it forming online too, like with the social dynamics online.
Hey, not to cut you guys off real quick, but what you were talking about with the international games earlier, I quick looked it up, and they've played in Japan a couple of times. They played.
That's
in
what
Japan
I thought.
14 times.
14?
Oh,
14
wow.
times.
I don't remember all that.
16 games in Canada, 14 in Japan, 8 in Mexico, 1 in Australia. And they played
that would definitely be the
first game ever played out of North America was in Tokyo in 1976. And it was the St. Louis Cardinals versus the Chargers. And the Chargers lost 20-10.
Go
And
St.
then-
Louis.
Crazy, right?
Wow.
Crazy, right?
That was
That's
a year before I was born.
Nuts. I just looked it up real quick, and I was
Thank
like,
you for
damn,
looking
dude.
it up.
I mean, listen, got to get that. You know what? A lot of Japanese people watch the programs. A lot of subscribers from Japan. Not a lot, but like considerable to the 1,200 we have subscribed. Like there's a percentage, and it's this is why they have
In Japan.
In Japan, yeah.
Wow.
That's dope.
And Australia. Yeah, Australia's definitely got to be the
Japan has,
farthest.
like, my opinion, like the coolest looking mountain. What mountain is that?
Mount Fiji
Yeah, Fiji.
or Fuji. No, Fuji. Mount Fuji. Fiji.
Fiji is like a country.
You're right.
Let me double check.
Hey, at least we corrected ourselves, right?
Yeah, Mount Fuji.
Yeah, Fiji's an island.
We'd be on here just messing it all up. Be like, I've been to
there's
Mount Fiji. What you talking about?
They're the Fiji Islands, I thought.
And they probably have a summit called Mount Fiji in Fiji.
Well, I'm pretty sure the whole island is a mountain.
Yeah,
That's why
right.
it's Fiji.
It literally is Mount Fiji. The whole
mountain.
nation.
There is
right.
an Fiji, so but
Bro, that hat is fresh, dude. You need to get it
Oh,
up
I
close. Let
know,
everybody
man.
see it.
Dude,
Damn,
It's
that
shaped
hat-
really nice,
you don't
dude.
even think
You wear it
you don't
nice.
think
It's
you
good.
don't know that.
Get a
man?
close up on it so everyone can see. Damn, that thing's fresh, bro. That TFTG style
Mhm.
fly.
Well, see,
boy.
like I had the other hat in my cart, and then I went and because I always double check, almost sometimes triple check before I actually buy something if it's I'm making sure. And so I was like, I saw another hat, and then I read the description, and this one
Yeah.
says specifically trucker hat. I was like, that's the one I want.
Nice. That's nice. It's
We got
nice,
a red
bro.
one too, right? I might get a red one.
I might get I think they have a black and white one also. That was pretty dope for the trucker hats. The black and white one was dope too. I was thinking about
By the
buying
way,
two.
By the way,
I've been
everybody
buying
knows.
a lot of hats lately, so
Right.
I've been buying a lot of hats lately. But I love this shit because I find them in their camouflage. Like probably half of the hats I've bought in the past like 8 or 9 hats have been camouflaged. Because like
How do you find them? They're all lost. No, I'm
They're
saying
all-
they're
how do
all
you
lost.
find
You
them?
can't find them. You
How
put
do you
them
pick
all in a
one?
pile. You
Right.
just they're
Yeah,
all
man,
lost. They're
man,
camouflaged.
it's funny. I've never
Blend
heard that
into
joke
the-
before. But yeah.
By the way,
so-
everybody knows that you pay extra for red, so that if you order the red one on Finn's Tailgate, you can remit the red tax to $ColorCom.
red tax? Oh, because of like what?
The red tax, yeah.
Boo! Boo!
Don-
Or $sign the Finn's Tailgate.
Oh man, I didn't even look up a cause for cleats.
That's okay. I got one ready while you're looking, if you want.
Yes, please, by all means.
Sure. I'll go ahead and cue it on up here. Let's see. So, since I kind of, feel like this is something I probably should have not been so, I don't know. Maybe I should have not been so at breast about my life throughout my life about issues, I wish people like this were around and people like Steve Smith Sr. were around when I was younger to help give people courage to come out for this issue. But of course, it's, as always, depression and anxiety. And the gentleman from the Carolina Panthers, Stanley Thomas Oliver, whether he's still with them or not, I know they haven't updated the rosters on Cause for Cleats site yet, but it doesn't matter what team he plays for. He's a good individual. And his cause is for the Mood Gym, which I looked it up, and it looks like it like the search for it redirects you to a site called walkalongcalifornia.ca. I'm sorry. But it's basically an online program for a journey to mental wellness. And it basically is kind of exercises and stuff, like a whole website devoted to, creating, places to go for help for people dealing with depression, anxiety, and stuff like that. So I'm guessing that the funds probably go to help supporting the hosting and stuff for this website and the programming and all that. Like they've got 5 20 to 40-minute modules and interactive games, anxiety and depression assessments, relaxation audio files, printable worksheets, stuff like that. Online workbooks to kind of keep you're occupied. Because a lot of times, even people dealing with light depression, maybe I could speak for my undiagnosed self, sometimes it's just if I have things to do that help me, focus my mind on things that don't, bring me to that spot. You know what I mean? So shout out to Stanley. I'm always going to support people that are trying to help encourage people to get help for themselves. Also, side note, secondary cause for cleat, personal cause for cleat, for me would be, and I mentioned it last night on my show, is Thurman Thomas Foundation, who is now I read an article last night on my show that said his foundation had raised $125,000 for the Buffalo victims, right? And I looked on the site today. His site is actually, I got the link in private chat. This is Thurman Thomas, ex-running back for the Buffalo Bills.
Okay.
Long time like NFL legend. But I'm going to post the link in the chat to his donation page for people that might want to help with that cause. And so the site, it's real easy to remember. It's give.thurmanthomas.cause. Well, during show prep, I pulled up the site just to have it queued up. And now it shows $165,199.76 raised.
Hopefully some people hit the link, bro. I got Thurman Thomas's rookie card.
Yeah,
right
I remember
there.
Thurman Thomas. I remember me and Chris looking at cards. Thurman Thomas grading. I'm like, this card is worth $2.47.
Yep, they got quick links for 10. They got quick links for $10, $50, and $100 donations, but they do have a custom amount box, so I'm sure they're willing to take pennies. All of it helps. Like I said, it's at 76 cents on the end. So obviously, some people have given some pennies. Don't be embarrassed. But shout out to Thurman Thomas for that. I had no idea he had that kind of foundation going on and all that.
Yeah, before all that stuff happened there.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know about that for sure. But if you go to, because I haven't looked that up, I'm guessing he probably had it in the works for other things just to have it. Most of these NFL players do, including Tua. There is the Tua Foundation too, for youth wellness, I believe, youth athletic wellness. It's what the Tua project is going to. If you buy a Tua on Tua's website, you can get a Tua, and that money goes to the Tua Foundation. So shout out to Tua as well for that. So go ahead, Tonk. I've about burned my lungs out. Go ahead,
man. And thank you for sharing the cause that helps with depression and just mental health.
My pleasure always doing this segment with you. So I appreciate you asking me to do it with you. And even if I just came on to do this segment with you, I would always do it.
Yeah, man. You're cool. You know what I mean? Like you have a lot to offer when it comes to, sports and broadcasting and just stuff like that. So I'm glad to have you here. And I wanted to say that so I have, I deal with mental health as well. And you nailed it right on the hammer when you said that, staying busy with stuff that is healthy for you makes your life better. And 100%, I've done that myself. And it works. When you work on things that help you, better things will start to happen for you because of that. It'll get more positive energy in your life. And just I don't know, it does a lot of good for you. Maybe you can even learn along the way too. So
it at least helps you onto a positive cycle.
And it's a good way to keep your hands busy. Cause what I've learned is keeping your hands busy helps, but do it something that's meaningful and that really helps you, not just playing video games or drinking or just like doing something that that is good for killing time and it's fun, but like it's not improving your life when like you're suffering mental health, and like improving your life helps mental health so much. It kind of relieves the pressure of like anxiety and frustration and depression. So my cause for cleats, and so thank you for sharing that, Color. I'm
Always a
glad
pleasure, man.
I'm glad that we have you here to also use that tool for yourself and become better because of it. So I went to the Buffalo Bills page on the NFL causes for cleats, and I looked for, and I'm glad I didn't know exactly what I was looking for, but when I saw it, I was like, that's what I was looking for. And it was Rashad Wild Goose for gun violence. His cause for cleats is gun violence. And I say that with just what happened out there in Buffalo, and we're going to get on that. I'm not going to jump into it heavy right now until we're on that actual topic, but I figured this would be a good time. And it sucks that, it happened. We haven't even been doing the show that long, and we already have like, it happens so often is what I mean. And, like I would have wanted to bring that up as a topic even before what happened in Buffalo, but I can't, I can't get to everything. It takes me a little while to make my rounds with stuff. You know what I mean? And so I hope that whatever, everything going on up there, I hope that, these are, because these are when those causes help. Like if you donate to them, this is what they should be, this is where they step in and help. So, if it's done any good and gained any momentum, it's probably helping those people in Buffalo right now. So
And I know, and money don't bring back their family members.
No, but I mean, I don't know, man.
Let's be real. Let's be real. When you don't have to deal with certain things in life, it's a lot easier to deal with the grief that you have on your plate. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
And Jay makes a great point here too. That's medicine itself. You're right. It
could, definitely can be.
So ironically that
all three of those things you said.
Psychiatry is different because it does involve, actual meds in comparison to psychology. But regardless, even a counselor would probably tell you exactly what Jay is saying anyway. So the professional help that you would seek, that would be like step 1, step 2, step 3 right there, bro. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, exercise, you get your endorphins flowing, smoke a little herb for the, I can't say that. If you're in a legal state where you're allowed to do that,
you probably
or licensed,
you can get it as money.
And prescribed with a doctor again, like anything else.
Exactly. Like, let's face it, the athletes that get caught using it or using it, the performance enhancing part of it is because it swiftly helps with inflammation. So obviously their recovery times are a lot quicker. You know what I mean? And that's where the advantage is seen when they consider marijuana performance enhancing. That's another topic for another day.
Good
but
for you, Dog fan.
Yeah, exactly. And just to say that real quick, that was actually the comment I wanted to pull up before we got too deep into the rest of the what's the gentleman's name again? The gentleman you were talking about, what was his name again?
Rashad Wild Goose.
Wild Goose. Is there any other kind?
and his brother Calm Patron. All right, so
it's okay, Tonk.
No, they're ignorant. That's ignorant.
Let it flow, Tonk. It's okay.
No, I need to make a video. If you guys haven't noticed, I got my grandfather back there. Got him doing some crossword puzzles right now, and he's from Florida, so I brought him here. And whenever the sun starts to shine, it warms up. I always invite him in. So.
Oh, that's where I would be right there.
Yeah.
I'd probably have my hands on the window.
Say what's up, Papa?
Yeah, he did. He waved.
That's Papa, everybody. All right, so what do we got? What do we got going on next?
Awesome, man.
All right, so I don't know. Like this, of course, has nothing to do with sports, but it's just tragic what happens to people, you know, regardless of what the person who does it, regardless of what they say their reason is and all that. It's like what is going to be accomplished after this happens? Like what change is going to happen? You know, if you do something that, I mean, obviously these people that commit crimes like this, they have a lot of passion and they're not afraid to take action and prepare and plan. It's like,
you know, I think
what is the goal with like Matt? I mean, and this guy says specifically, oh, it's fucking, what was it? Change out. It's what's this word that what is that word called?
I don't know.
The reason he did it, he said it was like replacement theory. Replacement theory.
To me, these are more when someone's thoughtful. First of all, I've always said that nothing's more dangerous than one man with a plan, because one man alone with a plan is dangerous as hell. Because when people plan with other things, they talk to people, someone could talk them out of a bad idea. One guy solo alone with a mental illness, obviously paranoid, you know, it's hard too, because you know, naturally people don't want to barge into people's lives, and also naturally when someone's weird, you try to fucking avoid them, you know what I'm saying? And then again, we can't go around just saying, hey, that guy over there that's wide-eyed and bug-eyed, that's freaking me out that I see, you know, where do I report something like that to without ruining a person's life that might just be having a bad day?
That's,
you know,
the conundrum we face right there, Chris.
It's a delicate subject. To me, this is a byproduct of families not being more familied, and it's all it is. Whether for whatever reason, you know.
I mean, money, I definitely blame the parents. I blame the parents 150%.
But even just like family around, you got to know those kind of things. And then you got to also have it in a subject matter where people can say, hey.
It's just, well, I don't know, dude. It's like, it happens so often in this country, though. It happens in schools, movie theaters.
I would say too. I wouldn't say so often, but I would say too often, because even once is too often.
It's so often, dude. Like, what was it? I think it was 2021. I'm pretty sure it was a year after COVID hit, that it was the first year in like 16 or 20 years that there wasn't a school shooting in April.
Yeah, but you know what, too? Here's how I look about it. That's a skewed number. Number one, just population size matter and how we all live on top of each other. Just a simple metric, yes. Is there an increase? Absolutely, with that metric, but also an increase on a lot of the other stuff. I also take into account how we get our information. It's so much more abundant. You'd hear about something that you might not hear about. Like, I'll give you a great, for instance, in the 70s, along the western border of America, there was a serial killer killing for years. I can't remember what it was called, but they knew about it, didn't say nothing. And then when they caught the guy, they didn't say, no one found out for like 20 something years. You know what I'm saying? So it's weird.
I think there is a lot to be said for that. I think you make a great point there.
So
because
all of that new data coming into place, I think and you talked about it a little bit earlier, and this is a touchy subject, guys. You know, we're talking about political type shit. I hate it. Seems how we always dissolve to it.
Nothing to do with politics.
Well, in some matters it does, because this is a political type discussion. But I think something everyone needs to have a healthier conversation about is understanding things just out in the open a little bit more. A comfort zone to bring things out in the open. If this guy was talking to himself in his head,
somebody had to be seeing that.
Somebody had to see it, and I don't want to blame that person. I want to have a spot where that person can find them.
Right. That person has to be able to have tools to alert, without necessarily alerting, without necessarily infringing.
Yeah.
You know, Well, to this point, and I know this sounds really off topic, but I just so happened to be watching a video today, a history video.
Damn, AA. That's
and I gotta give a shout out. And I know, Chris, this person hasn't ever come to us or earned this shout out, but I gotta give it to him because it just happens to be that I was watching a video on this channel today on YouTube. Weird History. You guys ever heard of Weird History? It's a channel on YouTube. Go check them out. They're great. The stuff's great. But one of the things that they were talking about was why people. It was a video on why people never smiled in photos back in the Victorian age in early 1900s. And there was a lot of different reasons, like because of the delay, how long it takes,
busted ass teeth.
But here's the thing, is that one of the other reasons was that people didn't smile at all in public. If you even smiled in public, people would think of you as like some crazy lunatic pervert.
Okay.
So,
or it was always seen as a gesture. And
right.
You didn't smile without.
Right. You had to keep a certain decorum. You had to keep a certain public image. You know what I mean? Because it was more to preserve your image to children more than anything else. But here's the thing. So when they took a photo back then, since it was a new thing, they saw taking a photo as presenting themselves to the public.
I guess so. Yeah, that's something you were going to show people.
Since they wouldn't smile in public walking down the road, else be thought of as a crazy person, which I thought was the interesting part. How society thought people that smiled in public were crazy. You know what I mean?
I would go half in on that. I mean, that's
so. What does what does this have to do with Buffalo shooting?
Yeah,
because what I'm saying, what I'm saying is about people back then. How actually far we've come. People in the 1800s, they thought a smile. No, but for you to smile walking down the street, somebody would have called the loony bin on you.
Yeah, but they were also bringing up people for witchcraft too, bro.
No, you're missing what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you would have had the law intervene on your life if you even cracked too big a smile in public.
So people are too free. Culler don't like smilers. Quit your smiling right now, Brent. Son of a
bitch. I would have totally been thrown in the. I mean, look at.
Anyhow, again, to the guy for the Buffalo shooting, I kind of, it's routine now. I know neither one of you cats got kids, but like they do drills for school shootings.
It's bullshit, dude.
It's
bullshit.
It's stupid.
Like, why don't they make schools safer?
Well,
we shouldn't need alarms. We should need safety. I wouldn't care if they put metal detectors.
I get
putting signs out front that there's no protection.
Everybody knows there's no protection
allowed on
what
campus.
Do you think?
That's just saying to people.
It's just like every school in Florida now, and this goes different places now. Every school in Florida has a police officer at the school, so that's just the deal. There's a cop car and a police officer at every school in Florida now. But again, I wonder this, and this is just whatever.
Teachers have to have.
But I wonder about people just learning about guns, if that would be a good thing. But I don't know when it would be appropriate time to teach a kid about guns.
From the moment moment they're strong enough to pick one up.
No, because then I got kids. I don't know. I don't know. But I think there is something to the conversation where people got to understand the inner workings of guns and understand it. And you know what else? If it was done in school, you could see the one that looked like he was a pyro or something like that. You would go, oh yeah, this kid really wants this gun. Make a little check mark there. You know what I'm saying? A little check mark. Maybe watch.
But the reason people used Victorian insults back in the day was because everybody carried guns.
No,
you didn't say the wrong thing to the wrong person.
Instead of
science too seriously, dog.
Instead of like
fucking weird science on YouTube, Culler. Be careful, dog. You're falling.
No, that wasn't from there. That wasn't from there. That's my own. I'm saying.
Go ahead, Tonk. I want to hear it. I don't want to hear no Victorian shit. Culler.
This is my train of thought over here, dude.
Well, why do you think people say the things they do on the internet? We say it all the time that they wouldn't say that if they were.
I wouldn't have a problem with a fucking dude with the AK-47. I wouldn't have a problem with schools being we need to find ways to just stop this shit from happening.
Nah, there's no way to stop.
But it happens. But it happens in all these crazy ass places, and it's like, what are these people thinking? when you put that much effort into something, I mean, imagine how much effort it took the guy that in Vegas to load up all that ammunition and guns into that room and contemplate, how he's going to do it. Or someone that goes into a school, or the guy that just did that in Buffalo. Like, I don't know, like to put that much effort into something.
I don't know. You can never underestimate a man's hate. That's for damn sure. Hate
but like,
is
what
powerful.
is he? But is like, are they inspired by like the change that'll happen because of it, or they just want to be?
They're just insane,
They just
bro.
want to be in the fight.
I think
they're
that's
just
the problem.
insane. You're trying to rationalize insanity.
Okay.
Yeah, no, and I get that a lot too.
It's hard. I'm not trying to fault you for that.
Yeah,
You're a great
but
individual for that. It's just hard to do.
But we want to understand so we can prevent this. I mean,
sure.
I have concealed carry permits, and when I've talked to different people about it, I get different reactions, and I like to have that conversation with people.
Yeah,
because I think it's a good conversation to have. And when I've talked to people who aren't from this country, they don't like it. They do not like guns at all, and like they look at me as if like I'm a threat.
Yeah,
that's
true.
I'm not the threat. Like I carry because there's a lot of crazy fucking people here that will just go into a place
because
shooting.
Your solution to the problem is defense for yourself, and that's okay.
Yeah. Or somebody else,
or somebody else,
that is the solution to the problem.
And it's
that's all. But
it sucks. But it is
the education. I think the education of it, and maybe a little bit more candid earlier conversation. And Q says it right. It starts at the house. But if there's a little bit more candid conversation, maybe we can A, recognize it a little earlier, and B, everyone understand it a little bit more. Because to me, when it comes with younger kids, it's not understanding the ramifications.
It's the value. We're not teaching our children the value of human life anymore. The value of human life has gone so far down that a kid like this thinks it's okay to live stream and go and do what he did as if he's acting out some first-person shooter game. You know what I mean? The fact of it is that kid had absolutely zero value for human life.
Yeah, it's
and that's where the problem is at.
They try to blame it on video games. I played all them crazy ass games growing up. I didn't want
it's not.
Well, look, AA
there is
said it right.
There is a conversation about
desensitization when it comes to stuff like this.
There is a conversation about desensitizing
people. Don't want to accept responsibility. They want to try to blame somebody else.
I don't. Again, for this,
to be better themselves.
In this exact situation too, there's really no one to blame, man. That's the thing, and that's where people are really left with. That's the other end. That's the end of the conversation for me. Is that we gotta do what we can, pick up whatever little data we can from with it, try to help those along, and hopefully by some means try to make it right, find whatever little justice we can, and grow. Because that's the hard part, and that's where people want it to go back, and it's the saddest part about the whole circumstance. There was nine. I think there was 9 people killed, 11 in total injured, or something like that.
How old was he? Like 19 or 20?
I don't know. But there's something. I don't know.
It's like
can't fix everything, and
it's like I don't.
CB says it per.
It's such a problem, and it's so hard to figure out, how to.
We would like to put people on medication.
It's so fucking random.
What kind of an issue? Well, real quick, guys.
So fucking random.
Not to make light of everything, but what kind of an issue can make me and CB83 agree on something?
I mean, look, there's humanity. That's what humanity, and there's again. I think it's
no, exactly. So I wanted to say this. CB83. That those same people that go and do shit like that, they wouldn't like going to like a fucking place where it'd be somebody else that has a lot of guns.
Exactly. This is why it has to be the teacher's choice.
They're gonna go into places where they're like the guy went into fucking Orlando nightclub. It's just
and the ones that still would talk are just the extra crazy ones, and at least we can defend ourselves.
It's just like
man, they're not looking at the mall in Boynton. You know what I'm saying? That's not
right.
Where
they're looking at the place that has a sign out front saying "gun-free zone."
It is.
Let's just call it what it is.
It's just such a crazy. It's just such a crazy problem, and it's happens for so many different reasons. Like Timothy McVeigh, like You know, like it's, and then the Las Vegas guy, he didn't even really have like, all they knew about him was that he was a high roller. Like like,
Who knows?
That
one's a different
he's like
conversation.
hundreds of thousands of dollars, and he just does this. Like,
yeah,
like, dude,
honestly,
like, what are you doing? It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, that to
like,
me, that's a different conversation for a different time, Tom.
Dude, it's
because that Vegas thing, I got a whole other view.
Oh, I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. You always do.
I got a whole
other. I've been looking.
I got a whole other angle on that.
Just follow this hashtag.
See what Jay said about he would value.
CP83 says, and this I think.
Yeah, dude.
If we had more carries,
that's the only way.
But also more education with weaponry. We have to own it as a country, unless you can't put
we definitely haven't owned it.
But we used to.
We used to. It used to be.
That's what I brought it up. That's why I brought it up. And I was just making
a. You can't just.
I was going for no. It was more a long way to say.
Work.
It was more a long. It was a long way to say.
Only the criminals are going to have guns. It's like, do you understand? They're criminals for a reason. Like,
not only that, the kid that used it already was banned from owning a gun. He wasn't old enough.
It's like,
again,
we can't ban and I don't.
The Wild West is
it's
over.
Literally. It's written in our Constitution. It was like when they first invented this country, United States or whatever, when they decided that and they wrote the Constitution, all that stuff. It's in the Constitution. It's like in the spinal cord of what started like this country. And so like,
unless they plan to rewrite a lot of stuff, which maybe they could amend in ways, but again, what if there's what if they start getting like laser guns and shit? Like I gotta be able to have one.
I'm not saying to go back to the Wild West. What I was just trying to say, look, I was just trying to. I was going a long way to just say an armed society is a polite society. That's simply what it's true. It's just true.
I think that like there should be more people at schools that carry them, but I think we just need more.
Schools is a dangerous thing because kids will piss you off. That's the scary
it's
part.
like, and plus kids are disrespectful as fuck too.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, what happens when a teacher goes crazy? Exactly.
That's right. Kid pushes.
Teacher, I don't know, man. I'm just saying, dude,
or
like
something like that. But
it's so bad when they do this shit in schools, man. It's just like, what the fuck, dude?
I'm glad I'm not the one that started this conversation.
All around.
I'm glad to have it. I'm glad to have it, but I'm glad I'm not the one that started it. I'm really welcome to have it, but
in the reality of this, all we want, if I thought all guns would end all the problems, I would do that. I would be all on board. But to me, it only welcomes more.
And by the way, the founding fathers talked about muskets. The founding fathers talked about muskets. Have you ever heard of a blunderbuss?
Okay.
Yeah, you stuff whatever you put in that thing, dude.
But hey, you brought up a perfect topic, dude. That's what the thing is. It's like the Constitution was written when we had musket rifles, and it took, they had to pull the shit out and like.
We also had. Yeah, but you don't realize.
Okay,
we
that's
also
the
had
laws.
Cannons. We also had
those
cannons.
Laws were made. Of course, you could open carry. It's basically a stick right now. You could
wheel a howitzer gun around.
You're not just gonna bust out with a musket rifle.
Yeah, we ain't getting in a full-on battle.
The end of it is like this big.
It doesn't matter though. It doesn't matter because you could carry around a Gatling gun. You could wheel around a Gatling gun.
What is this, Resident Evil 5? What the fuck?
And again, world.
But I mean,
I'm saying again, zombie apocalypse happens. You need to have some weapons.
What I'm saying is there was no class 3 weapons permit back then. You could wheel around a Gatling gun.
I don't know, man. We just need a lot more action and effort towards trying to stop this. Like,
that's right.
Or I don't know, man. It's just like
start teaching a squad of hand-to-hand combat elite ninjas that patrol every school in America.
We got the Power Rangers up in
you fucking end all those problems right now.
I don't know, man.
no, thanks for letting me speak,
and the
because
reason
usually
why I
my
brought up,
position is not the popular one.
well,
You
and
know
the
what
reason why I brought up like all of the events of this is because it happens to almost everybody. So like it's like a neutral event in this country because it happens for all these different reasons. And that, but more specifically, this past event was a lot of members of the Black community, and and I was, like, I am totally for like making everything better for everybody in this country, especially good citizens. And I marched, and I had a lot of fun doing it, and I even gave a speech at this area in Seattle. It was called the Autonomous Zone in Seattle. I gave a speech there, and there was people of all different creeds, and like I was nervous too, because I was like, if I say something these people don't like, I might get beat up or shot.
Yeah.
And I just talked about community involvement, policing, and safer schools, and this and that. And I'm trying not to get too far off topic, but
they didn't run you out of there?
I hate.
Wow.
No, dude, I could show you the video. They were applauding me, actually.
Wow.
It was crazy, dude. Like, I won the whole crowd of people.
Sounds like they're ready to rejoin
this was
the
right
real
after
world.
I remember
George
when you were
Floyd.
calling me and talking to me about all that and stuff. I was
yeah.
like, all right, be careful, bud.
It was
let me know
crazy,
if
but
you
like,
call me from inside the zone. Let me know if I got to come get you. That's let me know. I'll fly there right now.
Dude, dude, I know what I'm doing. I mean, I'm not trying to brag or anything, but I wouldn't have done it if I didn't believe I would say something that they would agree with and want to see happen. Because it's just tragedy, what happens to different communities. Like when it happened in one of the Carolinas, that church, and then what happened in the club in Orlando. It's like, racist attacks, and then it was happening to Asian people after COVID. Like, can't be going after that ain't gonna help. You can't be going after people. Like, this dude drove 3 hours to get there. Like,
again,
replacement.
you can never stop somebody. One man with a plan.
I know, dude. That's what I mean.
There's no
I
variable. There's no math problem. There's no laws. It's like, okay, everyone who didn't do anything, you're in trouble because of that.
Until they find a way to.
It's like, and I'm trying
until they find a way to implant. Until they find a. I'm
like,
sorry. Don't go ahead.
No, I mean, it just sucks, man. It's so unfortunate, and it breaks my heart, and like I want to try to figure this out.
This is the plight of man. You can't cure humanity, and if you do, we will cease to be. Mark my words, humanity.
And real quick to Cap's point, you can't until they find a way to implant a mind reader chip in all of our heads, you can never stop any.
I know. I think
there goes the end
for
of humanity.
A lot of these people that do this stuff, I blame the parents, honestly, dude. Like, you have to be responsible.
It could be somebody with no criminal record.
I don't know why, and I rarely ever hear that the parents got in trouble.
Wasn't it?
After these kids do this stuff,
there's been instances where like full blown serial killer had.
Well, the last guy shot his mother. The one that was responsible for leaving the cabinet unlocked. He shot her first.
A mass shooting. I don't like saying a serial killer. It's not Ted Bundy.
Yeah,
that's serial killer.
I'm thinking of Dahmer off the top of my head.
Well, you could call them mini. You could call them mini series because the killings happened a little quicker apart from each other, so you could call it a mini series.
I'm extra woke, Vaughn 954, dog. I'm beyond woke.
You have
dog.
no idea.
I got a third eye open, dog. Seeing around those
he's
corners.
He's almost a flat earther, but I think Chris knows better than that.
I'm not.
You can call me.
I hope you know better than that.
I'm gonna coin a new term right here. You can call me awoke.
We shot off too many bottle rockets.
How about that? You can call me awoke.
Bottle
it ain't
happening. What's a bottle rocket got to do with a flat earth?
They go up.
Well, duh. Everything. What goes up must come down.
Flat earthers think it's like a fucking glass dome above us.
No, there better not be a glass dome.
It's called a firmament.
The Truman Show.
No, I don't believe in flat earth. Let's get fucked.
I'm just making sure.
You ever see that video from Sabina Hassenfelder that was?
I do.
Flat earthers aren't stupid. They're wrong, but they're not stupid.
No, and then I do have some reservations about where there's land out there that they ain't telling us about, all in the Pacific Ocean, and like, what's habitable and what they got written on the maps. I got a whole theory on that. I'll talk to you on that.
Well, that probably.
Hey,
I believe stuff like that happens.
Like a
I mean,
whole
Hey,
other
Cat.
deal.
dude, it's or like even Antarctica.
See what Dolphin Dawn's putting in chat?
What do you say?
Left Earth,
I'll
like
let
in
you
a
go.
dream.
Yeah.
She's a
No,
teacher.
no.
Oh yeah. All right. Let me drop the link. Got
You down with that, Tonk?
Yeah, that's fine.
Absolutely.
To
Man,
talk
this
about
is
probably
how
this
you do a
subject.
show right here. Forget the rest of the show. This is where it's at
this is
right
it.
here.
Oh.
people.
Dropping the link right now.
I'm kidding, Tonk. We got time.
Yeah, no, we do. I'm dropping the link.
It's
I hope you do.
We
anyway.
just, I don't know.
72
It might be,
undefeated said,
it might,
"New show."
it might need to take more of us people that like to. I don't know, man. To raise a kid that is capable of doing that, it's like there had to be some serious stuff that he was made to believe. Like you don't just come up with that and go and do that.
CB,
Oh, AB.
honest, or
I love
AB,
AB.
honestly, in Florida, you could hold up pretty well out here against a 1-man or a 2-man
Victoria.
operation. Could hold up pretty damn good against a whole friggin' army out here in this land.
I know. I've seen the dudes that are
All right,
those dudes.
I'm gonna drop back, boys.
Mr.
Mr.
You
Fart.
got a smelly one.
How y'all doing tonight down there in
That's
lovely
freaking
Florida?
Tony Pepperoni. I
was gonna say if that was the teacher's name, man, I missed out, man. That was a cool teacher. Imagine a woman teacher come in named Mr. Fart.
I thought so too. I thought it was good. We were talking about the subject. Hold on, I'm gonna drop you back, Mr. Fart. Here you go. All right, boys.
That looks more
Adriana, the other half.
Adrienne.
Nice.
Is it Adrienne or Adriana?
Is that like Assignment by Deadly?
No, I dropped Mr. Fart back.
Yeah, Mr. Fart's gonna have to sit there and fart for a while. We can't hear you.
You might have to take yourself off mute, Adriana.
Oh, I am so sorry.
You're good. You're good.
There you go.
Perfect
volume. Is it Adriana or Adrian?
Adrian works. Adrienne,
okay,
it works.
Go ahead,
just fine. Well, I just now tuned in, and if you don't mind, I'd like to listen for just another minute to find out where you're going with this conversation, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, back in Buffalo with the whole things and how we can further protect students in this thing, and gun control, monetizing, or excuse me, monitoring this, but education in the subject and some form of better prevent, because this is like Culler, what you were saying, just this, I don't want to say a sitting duck, but the vulnerability welcomes this in.
Yeah, I guess I'll start by asking the question. If you don't mind, Tonk, I'll start by asking the question outright. Do you agree with what I said, that it should ultimately, the solution is the teacher should have a choice?
Teachers should have the choice to what?
To protect themselves.
You mean keep a gun in the classroom?
Yeah, however that means.
Okay, as someone who has been a teacher for 25 years in the high school, I've seen a lot of changes. And what I want you to know is that inherently, any teacher, their number one role, and they've been, when you sign up for a teacher, you sign up to protect. That's our number
72,
one job.
yes.
So I have a hard time believing that it would be natural for a teacher to pick up a gun and shoot a student, only because, that's ingrained in anyone who is truly a teacher. Now, there's some crappy teachers out there. I know this. They might be willing to, but anyone who's a true teacher, even if the kid has a gun facing you, I just don't see a teacher shooting a student. I don't. Even
in defense of the other children?
In defense of the other children, I see a teacher taking a bullet for those children.
Okay.
And that has happened many times.
So you're saying more in the sense that they would err that this student is hurting so bad.
Right. They
that
would.
now, yeah, I know what you mean. The empathy outweighs the fear in this scenario with the teacher.
So you're weighing the value of that student's life over your own, and that's commendable.
And they have.
Right.
Many times. Well, almost every school shooting you hear of.
Yeah.
If any students die, I guarantee you there's a teacher in there too.
So I have an interesting take on this, because I worked for a school as a math tutor and I did it for a while, and I feel like no. So if I was like an elementary school teacher, and it was one of those but when it was it was a kid from, he wasn't going to elementary school, went to Sandy Hook. But anyways, like if the teacher had to shoot a student that she knew or something like that, I think that would be different than like if someone came up into the college and was shooting people and I was there. Because like if I were able to, I would have carried while I was at school, being a tutor in case something like that happened. But I would be, but I would be able to handle that. But like I think where you're coming from is like being a teacher and you have classes and stuff like that and having to shoot something like that. I could see that being super difficult, like you said. But I know as like, as
in a
an
non-collegiate
educator
situation,
working out of college,
but where's
I would
the line?
easily be able to do something like that if I had to.
Well,
So,
go ahead.
Go ahead, Adrian.
Well, I do want to say this, that most public high schools today, not the one I'm currently working at, but most public high schools today, you have to be very, very careful about what is not locked up. And I'd like you to imagine, especially a female teacher, having a gun, say in their pocket or something like that, right? You have to be very, very careful with that. Even male teachers, everything that we have that a teacher would have has to be locked up. And I just, it's hard for me to imagine but the school resource officer having a gun. Now, is it possible? I'm sure it is. I'm sure that there are high schools where the teachers are more than willing to come to school and have a gun and use it only in defense.
Well,
do you think if there was I'm sorry, go ahead, Tonk.
What about like what 72 said? Having like ex-military or retired vets or retired policemen gets, I don't know. It's like, it's
that was going to be my question. That was going to be my question.
But maybe try to find a way to process it through like a foundation,
or how about like a federal marshal?
Right? Is there enough? That's what I'm saying. Right. Logistically, though, is there enough? Would there? We'd have to find a way. Like Tonk's saying, this has been proposed before because a lot of these people may volunteer to do this, which is what we would have to do.
I don't know.
To have the manpower logistically. Well, what I'm saying is, my first thought was to give the teachers the choice. Now Adrienne pointed out a couple things from a teacher's perspective that I had never factored into my calculus before, and I appreciate her for doing that. You know what I mean? But that being said, the solution that I'm thinking, if I were to use an analogy, let's say we can analogize it and say, okay, instead of a teacher, because in a non-collegiate environment, the only real adult in the room is the teacher. Mm-hmm. So, what about, and this would be a logistical issue, but what about a resource officer in each and every classroom?
Well, or like in the hallways or something, gotta be, and the kid has to go you
can't. There's a fine line between education now.
There's still 25 doors down the aisle. You know what I mean?
And like, we don't want it to be like a police state, right? We don't want to have to.
No, that's not what I'm suggesting. I'm not suggesting, but we have an air marshal on every plane. We can't have an air marshal in every school, in every classroom.
Dude, I'm totally with you. 100%. And I say this all the time. I just, what was I going to say? I just think we just need more security at schools. Like we just need it. We just need it.
Well, what I'm saying, Tonk, is you push for the extreme like I am. One in every classroom. And we might get 50 of them in the school total. You know what I mean?
So, Audrey,
Yes. What I want to say about that is it's always the bottom line is money, right? And we know that we need one guidance counselor per classroom. We know that we need
definitely
we need mental health help. We need, and we've been stretched so far. The public schools, just in the past 25 years or so, the amount of money that's being used to put into public schools, well, it shows. You can tell. And I just don't see anyone. Well, I just don't see them saying, "Oh yeah, we'll give you X number of dollars," when they're taking away dollars every single year. If you think about the rise of special education and how much money that is taken up, and we've got English as second language. I mean, there's a lot of money being used in places that are not necessarily, not mainstream,
Mm-hmm.
that we are responsible, teachers and education is responsible for, right?
Yeah.
So
Audrey, as a parent who has 2 kids,
mhm.
I noticed the education system for the past few years now has been just both my kids every year have multiple teachers, meaning that the different teacher, they don't start with the teacher and end with the same teacher.
Correct.
It never does. My daughter, I don't think, has had the same teacher her entire time in school.
What,
And
like quitting or something?
Yep,
Yes.
taking a different job, or someone gets
Wow.
pregnant, or I mean literally 4 or 5 teachers a year, and I wonder why is that, and not to
That's
get
interesting.
too off the topic with it, because obviously it's a finance issue with even the safety issue at this point for the finance, because that's where we come with doing anything with the school systems.
Right, and that's why I was trying to enhance Tonk's suggestion about the ex-military and retired, because you might be able to get an army of volunteers to do
I'm
this.
sure we
kind
can
of
get
stuff.
volunteers. Again, there's a fine line because people have interest, and when their kid or their
There's
nephew, or
liability
there's
issues
so
too. Yeah, I
much
get
with
it.
children.
I know
that
it
people
sucks.
think unclear. They think unclear. So it's best to. It's
And
such
you-
a weird
yeah,
line
it's-
with it. But what I was saying is, why, just to peel that bit of that onion, why is that, Audrey?
I will tell you why that is. I could walk away from my job right now and be making 4 times as much as I'm making as an educator. Wow. And that is true for most of the people that I work with. I mean, teachers are running around with doctorates, master's degrees, multiple degrees, and they're getting paid, at entry levels, really, if you compare similar professions in other areas.
So, Audrey,
yeah.
I not to cut you off, but this was where I found the answer when I looked over this stone as well, because I thought to myself, well, here's the real issue. These are people who go to college to become educators. They are highly overqualified, highly underpaid, and literally by the time they come out of college, at the rate with the pay and the thing, you'll never ever climb out of whatever debt you've accrued in college, especially at the rate of college inflation right now. Right. So I wondered, is not to have less qualified individuals, but maybe the education system can have a couple of very qualified individuals that are paid the best amount of money and start moving into more of a workforce type of thing, because now everything's becoming automated with programs and stuff like that. Like someone with no qualification, as long as they're not a felon, as long as they're not this, that they can start as, say, I don't know, an art teacher, work their way, find curriculum, learn the day-to-day stuff, and then maybe become a first grade teacher, a third grade. Next thing you know, she's a high school teacher and never had a college education, but has 15, 20 years of experience and is just as good as things. Is that something you think? Because to me, I wonder if that's what's happening, because it's kind of seems what's happening.
They're actually doing that now. Previously, in order to even be a substitute teacher, you had to have some kind of college degree in any area. And even if you didn't have experience with students, they would train you to be a substitute teacher. They would put you through the training to do that. Now, to be a substitute teacher, I think you have to have maybe a year or 2 of some kind of, even just an associate's degree would work. And now with the pandemic, you probably saw this too. With the pandemic, it was almost like, well, let's throw a lunch lady in the math room and see what.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, it's been all hands on deck.
It really has.
I mean, they didn't even put her in like the cooking class, the home ec class, or something.
No, and that's happened all across the country. And also, they're lowering the teacher standards over and over and over again. And, you have veteran teachers who are leaving by the droves. People are retiring as soon as they possibly can and getting out. But when you don't have, the older teachers in there to kind of show them the ropes and show them, okay, here's how you do it, then you have nothing to work with. And I think there are many schools out there now that have nothing to even start with.
It's really,
I went to an F school. I went to an F school.
Brent, bro, it's terrible. Like,
no,
I
I
don't
know,
want to dog school,
you're,
but like it's so unorganized right now. There's this, I don't know. There's the person you talk to ain't there, or gone. There's this. It's really
yes, no,
hard. And
our
I
school
and
system
you
is,
want to get mad about it as a parent, but you look and you see how overwhelmed it is. And even in charter schools or anything, and they've tried to do a lot of things. Is it just a finance issue, Audrey?
I don't think it's not. I don't think it's just that. It's the fact that teachers are being asked to do everything. You're not just a teacher. You're not just teaching them physics or chemistry. You're the counselor. You are suddenly the one who's helping them pay for their lunch. You're the one who is paying for, like, I spend easily, and Don complains about this. I easily spend $2,000 to $3,000 per year on my students just to keep them afloat. So in all the paperwork has gotten immensely greater. So not only am I working 8 hours a day, but I also come home and work. This is not an 8-hour a day job, right? I come home and most teachers are working 3 or 4 hours at home, especially if they have a tough subject that they're teaching. So it's not just the money, it's the time, it's the extra paperwork. It's a lot of headaches that a normal person wouldn't have to go through in doing their job. And a lot of people, I hear this over and over again. Well, what are you teachers whining about? You get the summers off. Well, teachers don't get paid for that during the summer.
Not only that, most teachers, anyone that knows, they got a summer job. Everybody knows that.
Well,
the people that don't are just they're as the
no,
video
they also have training to do. As a professional, in order to keep your licensure, you have to have a certain number of hours outside of school where you're either attending college classes or you are taking, courses and workshops somewhere else.
So it's a meat grinder essentially now at this point.
At this point, yes, it is.
Well, then that ain't good. How do we? Well, that's going to take legislation to fix that.
There's a lot of things that is challenging with our school system. It sucks. It really sucks because I know some teachers, as I have teacher friends, that one is she got a couple of different positions out of school. It's more like a curriculum type of position than like a teaching position. And there's like, and then but I remember her as a teacher, and then her cousin is also a teacher, and they struggle. Like she really struggled.
Teachers are constantly footing out of pocket.
Struggled. It was 24/7 struggle. Like she was like under, the school was underfunded, and like it was just like it's
Audrey.
It's so bad. It's so bad. It sucks. Like I don't know.
To not overextend, but is there corruption from the top as far as doling out these funds? Because I'll be real, I at the top with like the people that sit up ahead of the boards, I know they get paid very well. Like the head of the teacher stuff,
exactly.
That type of thing.
Can I add something too? Jay makes a great point. It was something I was going to say. Because Chris, you said you used the word meat grinder.
Yeah.
And usually when, I'd like to fashion myself at least educated enough to say that I paid attention in high school enough to have read the book, The Jungle. And I thought that, so this was going to be a question that Jay brings up right now. What about the union? I mean, what's gone so wrong with your guys' teachers union that, this is when Chris uses the words like meat grinder, this is precisely what unions are started.
Well, that's why I moved to the subject of corruption, because I know for a fact, I don't want to give anything else, but at the top were like the heads of the board, like district things, they make a lot. They live very well.
Yeah.
And they're not doing
bullshit.
They're not doing anything the teachers are doing.
So I don't know how much it affects the public school system, but I know it affects colleges and tuition costs. And it's like you're getting now with I think it's happening in the public school system too. you'll have more
the
people
American way.
in the office, like people doing, like when you go to the office at the school where the principal and like there's more people in those departments than there are in teaching departments. And it's like a school is to be a teaching.
It's the American way.
And you have more people pushing paper.
The money
Like,
that's
what are you
skimmed
talking about?
is always on the expansion of stuff, never on the maintenance of it. It's always money to build a new building, a new road, a new
laptop
program,
refresh
a new
for the students, a new
contract
server refresh,
signed.
right.
That's where the money's
new palm
skimmed.
trees outside of the building off
That's right.
Forest Hill.
That's
You know
right.
what I mean?
And
Yeah,
then
we know.
and the maintenance of it falls on everyone to do. Audrey, sorry to go so over the topics, but I mean, is that what we're sitting in that situation?
Well, there's a couple of things that I want to address. First, I believe you brought up corruption. Is corruption happening at the highest level? I don't know. I haven't been there. I have, I've worked in administration. I've worked at, the big office, and I did notice that it was much less taxing to be there, but I missed my students and had to, went back to the classroom. But as far as the way high up, I'm sure there is. I'm sure, because, there's so much funding that does go to public school education, but for some reason, it just disappears. I don't know where it goes. The other thing you talked about was unions. Now, I happen to be in one of the states in the United States where unions are not allowed. It's a right to work.
I didn't know this. What state? Can you tell us what state that is?
I can. North Carolina.
Wow,
I don't know if there's any teachers union in Florida either.
No, that's exactly my point, because here in Seattle, there's a lot of unions. I just saw like a legit strike where they're like walking around with the signs and shit. Like,
yeah.
I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, it's going down.
But yeah, I mean, I guess that would help. I wonder if Virginia has a teachers union.
I don't know. Yeah, so
I think it would help. It would probably help teachers if you had.
I'm pretty sure. Don't they have union? Aren't they federally unionized, like with the AFL-CIO and all that?
I'm gonna drop out, Culler. I gotta go start the other one, boys. All right.
And again, Tonk, that would be the individual state. What you would want to look up is whether Virginia is a right to work state or not. If they are a right to work state,
Florida's a right to work state,
right? Which means that nobody is obligated by law to pay dues to the union to operate in that sector. But I'm pretty sure, I don't know about Virginia. You'd have to ask somebody from Virginia.
Yeah, I'm not sure either, even though I'm right next to them. Another person in here has a very good comment. He asked, do you guys think privatizing the school system is hurting the public funding? Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, definitely.
And they are not held to the same standard. Here's the kicker.
That's interesting.
These private schools are not held to the same standard that public schools are. They don't have to take the end course tests that are the state tests that are mandated. They're not required to do a lot of things that the charter schools and the private schools are. And also a private school, or sometimes if it's not a public, the charter schools have the ability to make money. And there are people out there who just want to make money off of education, obviously. So yeah, it takes money away from the public schools. That's how it works.
It's bullshit. Like these are the people that are supposed to keep the country going after generations pass off. Like,
right.
If we're raising, if the struggle is part of, all that, I don't know. I can't trying to think of how you say that. But
it seems to me we could solve the problem by selling one B-2 bomber to somebody.
Yeah.
That's what it seems. That's what's crazy. It's about, stop military spending. I'm not talking about that. But if you talk about what it costs for one B-2 bomber, drop that sugar pill on the Florida school system and see what happens.
We'll just keep those bombs. Let's just fucking bombs.
Well, one more point I'd like to make before I have to go, and that is, privatizing the school system, is it hurting the public funding? Yes, it is hurting the public funding.
Interesting. I had never thought of that.
Yeah, it is. And what people don't realize is that, hey, I can, you know what? I'm just an average Joe. I can send my kid to a private school because I have these vouchers. I want you to know that these vouchers are temporary. They will be ripped away from the public eventually. And I know that for sure. So please be aware of that. You may be sitting there thinking, oh, the private schools are so much better. I'm going to send my kid there. He's going to get straight A's. Well, that's temporary, because that
I don't
eventually
necessarily
can be taken
think
away.
private schools can give you a better education, because there was a lot of really smart people I went to school with at a public school. I struggled as a student. That's some of the reason I became a math tutor, because I had to take so much math that I got really good at it. And I was like, whatever I learned, I could teach to somebody. And so that's how I actually got started as a math tutor. And it was very rewarding. And I see why, I understand why you go back to teaching, because it's very rewarding when you can see kids succeed and learn from you. And I wish things some things shouldn't be allowed to happen. We shouldn't be able to pull funding away from schools, or this is what's raising our future generations. We have to do good at that. You can't fail there and expect everything else to work. It doesn't work. These kids don't even the fuck. It's not going to work.
Now go ahead.
When it doesn't work, we end up with a population that does not know how to think critically. How many times have you heard someone say, I did my own research, and they don't know what they're talking about?
Yep, which goes right up into the college level, Adrian, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I mean, it doesn't, and I'm not, this isn't a kick at people's intellect and how smart they are just themselves, so I'm not going to say that because I was going to say I became a lot better after I did get a college degree. I actually waited a little bit of time before I went back to college, because I needed to be a little older to really be able to learn well. And I got a bachelor degree. It took a long time, but what I was trying to say is that we definitely need a lot of reform when it comes to schools.
We need social reform too, because teachers are taking on the role of parent in a lot of cases.
I thought that's stunning.
Well, plus I don't know, man.
Kids are more
disrespectful. I don't know.
I would have never thought to go to my teacher to borrow lunch money. That's just amazing to me.
Yeah.
And your son and your child shouldn't be having to deal with stuff like that either.
What a heart.
And
what a heart. That's all I gotta say. You guys are a noble bunch. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah,
I really appreciate you guys letting me come in and
no, we appreciate you setting us straight on a few things. I really appreciate your perspective. I'm really glad you decided to come up.
Yeah, and it's I'm glad we have a platform for you to be able to say that stuff, because my friend Jenna, she said pretty much very similar to what you said about the system, and it's so challenging and difficult, and we really need reform there. We really need reform there. That it's one of the most important things that we need to accomplish. And thank you for sticking with it. It's
even the teachers we see on TV are talking heads for some political agenda. You're the real deal. You're actually the real perspective, the on the ground. You know what I mean? What's going on, Adrian? Appreciate you telling us.
Well, at least that's it. That's for my neck of the woods. It could be different.
Sure, but it's how it is. It's just like anything else. I mean, we talk to 5 other people and they're going to say similar things, because we talk to teachers in our own lives. We've just never had the opportunity to, hear one, having this kind of forum and like this, especially on a Dolphins channel. Appreciate Tonk for letting it expand out like that.
Well, that's my show. Hey, Adrian, this is my show. I'm always trying to talk about, the important topics, sometimes maybe the tough topics or the difficult ones.
Yeah, because it leads right into the NIL
I want to get real natural input and reactions from people, because it's just really good to get these conversations started. We don't need an event to happen. We shouldn't need, or we don't need, to be able to have these conversations. We should be having it regardless. So anyway, sorry to keep you on here so long.
No, not at all. Well, I appreciate you guys, and you have a lifetime fan now. But I'm
very much. Thank you very much.
So wait. Wait, if you're
Yeah.
a fan, then you've got to answer the question. If you're a friend of the show, then you've got to answer the question. They all have to answer.
Right, it's day one.
Which
so
logo? Which logo?
Which one?
Yeah, which is your
What do you
favorite?
mean?
Favorite logo?
That one? Yours? Tonk's or yours?
Oh, our logo, like the Dolphins logo.
I'm sorry, I'm a lifetime Dolphins fan.
So which is your favorite logo? Like old school?
I'm an 80s girl.
Okay.
I like the old school.
You like Dan Marino's logo then?
Oh, absolutely.
Right. I don't think I have anything handy here with it on it, but I do. Oh yeah, I do.
It's in my other.
My age,
actually, I have a.
This one right here.
Yes,
that's her logo right there.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the logo I would rock with too. I do rock with.
That's my second favorite, but I just look at the one from the 2000s as like the apex of this one. You know what I mean?
Oh, right.
It's kind of like if you were to just be able to refine that as much as it could be refined, and that's it, no more.
That's the better. The other one on the wall. The newer one, I'm not really sold on a new one though.
This is the old newest one.
Oh shit! I think I might have one just like that, dude. Hold on a second. You want to bust out? Oh, dude,
we're like big kids, Adrian. You know what I mean?
Up, dude? What's up?
Oh yeah. There you go.
You like that, don't you? You like that, don't you?
All right, guys. Good night. Thanks again. Bye bye.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. What you think about that, Culler?
That was jamming, man. Appreciate that, Tonk.
Yeah.
I know you're a pretty regimented guy. I appreciate you, jumping off.
Man, I'm always trying to be on the right side of anything, dude.
Because we could have went off a cliff really quick, you know what I mean? Because I think we're both out of our league talking to a teacher.
I'm not out of my league.
Maybe not you. Maybe not you. I was gonna say.
And I mean, I'm a different type of teacher. I definitely never dealt with the stuff that she did. Like,
I'm like the smartest layperson you'll ever meet.
But man, like being an educator, because I always struggled at school. It's because I just didn't have the help that I needed, and I didn't learn from if I had one teacher and I didn't learn well from that teacher, I wasn't gonna learn well for the whole time.
Do you have a name drop? You have a favorite teacher drop from all of school?
Maybe Miss Nicholson from Gulf Beaches Elementary. In St. Pete, Florida. And then there was another teacher. She was my 6th grade math teacher. It's where I met one of my oldest friends. And Miss Kirby, I think it was, at Jefferson Davis Middle. And for high school.
That's right down the road from me. I can walk there right now.
Yeah, well, now it's Palm Springs Middle.
Yeah, I can walk over there.
And then it was something really interesting that happened. I think I was in high school. Yeah, it was my algebra 2 class. Or it was my algebra class. I can't remember. But during that, and the lady I did not learn from. I really struggled at learning from her. And then he came in as so when a teacher first starts, before they get hired, they have to go teach a class for a semester.
Right. Like an internship.
I think for free.
Right, like an internship.
So it was this guy, he was the teacher, it was a math class. And I mean, it was literally instantly when he would teach something, I would learn it. And I started getting A's on my tests. I went from D's to A's.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was getting ready to leave. And it was I don't know, after the time passed, he's like, I'm leaving soon. I was like, dude, do you understand? When you leave, I'm not going to be able to learn from this lady. I'm going to start doing that again.
That was Mrs. Dunlap for me.
And when he came back, dude, this told me how you're struggling again, dude. So I really understood the importance of having someone that could actually teach you. And
so before everybody clips you, Tonk, do you want to explain that?
Explain what?
Your school, your middle school.
Explain
the name of your middle school.
Oh, Jefferson Davis to Palm Springs Middle.
Yeah, they changed it. Big Drip
was a slave owner.
Yeah, they changed. He was the president of the Confederacy.
Yeah. Well, same thing. I mean, it's the same thing.
Not to laugh about it, but just to say that Big Drip. That's precisely why they changed the name.
And yeah, I know. Good. Screw that guy.
Yeah, and he wasn't even. I mean, Like, even if you were like, no, God
David
forbid,
Hogg,
if you were even if you were sympathetic, the guy was still a terrible leader.
It's just like, no, any person, any slave owner, and I'm not for like tearing things down, like what they did in Virginia where they were tearing. No, if you want it gone, because I think Philadelphia did this. What they did was they took it late at night. They went down there and then took it apart and flew it away instead of just like tearing it down. Like, take it. They should take it and use the metal out of it to make something new or something like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
But like,
right.
I'm totally for getting rid of, like, I'm just wiping slave owner people.
The only issue is, Tonk, you know what road runs right behind that school still?
Dixie?
Davis.
Or Davis? Oh, that's his road.
It's the I mean, what
road.
other Davis would it be?
I don't know, dude. I never thought of it that way. I don't ever, unless it's like
as long as it doesn't say Jeff in front of it, we can fool people.
Like Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. I don't remember anything like Washington, I guess, but I don't know. It's funny because I used to be on Davis a lot too.
The problem though with changing Davis is that the road is so long. There would be a lot of people.
Well, that would
and a lot of small municipalities that would have to flip the bill for changing the mail. You know what I mean?
My dad lives in Lake. He lives in Lake Placid. Well, it's called Sylvan Shores, where he lives in Lake Placid, and it took me a long time to memorize how to get to his house. And they went in there and changed all the name of the streets. So I'm like, I've learned it so well that I didn't necessarily need the signs, but I remember going there and I'm like, what the hell? Why are all the signs different? They went in there and changed all the signs. Like, that would be way more different. That was way more difficult to deal with. They've just changed Davis as a straight line.
I walked right into that one, Tonk.
I mean, how far does it go? Summit?
Actually, it ends at Summit in Lake Worth. That was just 6th Avenue or Lake Worth Road. It picks back up on the other side of Lake Worth Road, but you can't drive through right there. Yeah. And then it ends at 6th Avenue. But Davis I think Road. Look at Shake Money. It's like I walked right into that one, man. Who else would it stand for? Jesse Davis, right? Good job, Shake. That's why we love you around here, man. Brilliant.
Old racist road.
I actually used to live off that road, like a lot of portion of my life.
I lived right off that road too.
My elementary school is on the road too, Palm Springs Elementary.
I went to 4 different elementary schools, dude. My childhood was very difficult.
Yeah, I did a few myself.
Crazy, a lot of moving around. Shit was crazy, dude. And 4 elementary schools.
Yeah, and then I moved in the middle of the year, when I was in 6th grade. And Palm Springs Elementary still ran 6th grade back then. And Lake Worth Middle School started at 7th grade. But I moved to Lantana where the middle school had already started handling 6th grade. So I jumped from elementary to middle school environment in the same year, dude. Like, I had no summer to prepare for that difference, like changing classes and all that stuff. Because you didn't change classes in elementary. You know, you just stuck with the same teacher all day in elementary.
And thank you, everyone who's been commenting and having conversations. Sorry to interrupt you, Culler. I was just...
Oh, that's okay. That's okay.
I just want people to... I've been trying to watch.
That's
okay. What were you saying?
I was just saying, look, the elementary in my district was still handling 6th grade, so we didn't change classes all day. It was the same teacher all day. And then I went to a district where the middle school handled it. So, within half the year of middle school, I had to jump into the changing classes environment, having 6 classes a day and all that. No summer to prepare for that. So my grades really failed, suffered for it. And it was Mrs. Dunlap to equate to your teacher. To equate to your teacher that brought you back from the depths. It was Mrs. Dunlap for me that got me straightened back to A's and B's. You know what I mean? But
it wasn't. I made A's and B's like one time in like elementary school. I never made it in middle school. I think I got A's. Yeah, I did get A's and B's. Never straight A's though, and I don't think I did it one time in high school.
Funny thing was, I hated the subject.
I almost did it in college, dude. I was so mad. I almost did it in college, and I had 3 A's in just one other class. It was college algebra because I got like a low C on one of the tests, and like she did like it was like 5 tests and then the final test, and I did so well. I got 102 on the final. Okay, I got more points than how many you can add for a percentage.
You
I got more
literally
points
emerged
what you
2
can
more
add.
points out of
And she like
right.
combined everything, and like I came out with a B, and I'm like, look, I said, can you please just? I said I got an A on the final. How you can't get an A on the final exam if you're not doing A in the class. You can't. And she wouldn't do it. I was like, you don't understand. I've never had straight A's in my whole life. I was like, please. And she wouldn't do it, dude. I was so mad, man.
She doomed you a life. She doomed you to a life of always being that guy.
So tough for me, man. That's why, like, I did so well as a teacher.
It's like Gattaca.
I understand what it's like to struggle at education and learning, and how much effort you have to put into it to learn stuff. Like, I really related to a lot of students that way. And
I wonder if she's ever watched The Butterfly Effect and reflected back on what she did, the decision she made that day.
What? Who? The lady that was on here?
No, the lady that wouldn't give you an A to make your straight A's.
Oh man, it's like, lady, like seriously though, like it's like, come on, I just got 102. I did better than what the school allows. Okay,
right. You literally counterfeited 2 extra points, man.
I'm better than the best.
Right, exactly. Catch me if you can.
And you're gonna hit me up over some points. I'm like, man. I was just like, it's like, because college was only gonna get harder. It's like it's only gonna get harder here. College doesn't get easier as you go.
I don't know. I look at some of these college, like thinking to myself, why didn't I go?
Well, specifically when it comes to
right in.
Science and math, like
I'd have been on some paleontological dig somewhere out in the middle of nowhere if I'd ended up in college.
Calculus 1 is, man, that class is crazy, dude. Pre-calc but anyways, I don't even know if Capitan is like, what is he, like, passed out by now?
Oh, I don't know. Did you want to do a reset real quick? Remind everybody of all our shows. I can do it.
Yeah. So sorry, we kind of just been going off on.
It's okay.
But
here you go.
Yeah. So usually we try to have TMI Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Sometimes 9:30 p.m. If we miss it, sorry. We got other things going on. Color commentary every Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern. My man Culler. And then we got all through the week and the weekend, El Capitan doing his show. He's always doing something. And then Culler be jumping on every now and then too. So and then there's a new show, Ali and Culler, right? Is it both you guys or
it's Late Night Exhale? It's Ali's show. It's Late Night Exhale. He is the host. I will be commentating, but again, we're gonna use it. We're gonna try to cycle like people in and out. You know what I mean? Like as far as it doesn't necessarily have to be me, but right at the moment, that's how we're handling it. But it's completely Ali's direction.
Sweet. Yeah, I'm down.
And one other thing I'm sure he'd appreciate if I mentioned was this Saturday is Jersey night. Wear all your favorite jerseys. Tell us what you're wearing. We're gonna wear he's got one he's wearing, he's not telling anybody. I'm wearing one that I'm not telling anybody, but as I've said, it's the only jersey I've ever bought, and I have worn it on stream before, so people can find out what it is if they're willing to go back and watch our shows. Make sure you like and share all those shows. Make sure you like and share this one. Subscribe if you haven't. Everybody on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, come over and subscribe. We'd appreciate it. Also, Tonk, one other thing for you. Boom.
Oh, yeah. And that's our partner. So they sell a whole bunch of stuff. So just click on the link. And I think if you purchase through that link, then it shows that we're being good partners. And then there's our gear, the sandals, the sweater, the t-shirt, the beanie, and then
I was gonna let you
too. Yeah. Ooh, look at that.
It looks just like it does in the description. Look at that.
I know, badass, right?
It looks better than
the trucker. This is the trucker hat.
I don't know.
There's like another hat that's more
we're gonna
like
have to start a poll, Tonk. Which looks better, the description or Tonk?
Oh, I like that.
Here, I think Tonk, you might even vote against yourself on this one, man. I mean, that's a nice tan.
Whatever. Yeah, okay. We'll see where she lives. Does she live in PNW? Like, you shouldn't judge me on my tan.
It's okay.
It depends where I live, dude.
Remember, I spent 11 years.
Just go outside.
Right. Remember, I spent 11 years in Missouri. I know what it's like, bro. Kindred spirit, man.
But I like the comparison. I mean, I'm definitely willing to go up, and see, who got it better.
But yeah, if you want to run things down, that's cool. I've got controls to.
Yeah, I just forgot what else we got going on.
Let me pull up the list. So, where did we leave off? We left off
Brittany Griner, and then let's just save this for next show, dude.
Okay, yeah, because that's opening up a can of worms, and also
and that means I got 3 topics to start for next week.
Sure, and I certainly don't want to impose. But I want to real quick. I want to let Adrian know that without imposing and without asking, that she is absolutely welcome to come back up and segue into that NIL conversation, because I think she probably has a lot of good opinions on it, being that it's along the same lines as the topic as to what we were talking about when it comes to students being underserved or being overserved or whatever your position is. So, Adrian, you're absolutely welcome to join us Tuesday if Tonk really wants to talk about the NIL issue. And we'd love your opinion on that too. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah. I mean, does it affect? She teaches
I was going to ask about
it.
I was going to ask about it. Or yeah, she teaches, but again, she seems to be pretty knowledgeable about, what's going on in the economic ends of the overall education system in our country. And I think there's a couple of opinions that I've put out there about the NIL that kind of concern me a little, and wouldn't mind having her take on them. You know what I mean? Because it has to do with the idea that, and maybe this is a good little preview for Tuesday, but it has to do with what I've talked about before is the idea that they got the approval, like the NCAA finally, changed their rules or whatever with the intention of students being served. Well, if all the big money, and even if it's coming from the outside, is all going to 1 or 2 students, then how does that really change anything other than make what was already going on legal? So I don't think that the overall student body is being served at all. And I think that it's no different. And I think that this is why you have people calling for going into the next phase of it, which would be regulation or giving it to the schools, making sure the schools get anything so that they're the ones that divvy out the money. You see what I'm saying? So that's a little preview.
Well, I mean, that's one of the topics, actually, and it's kind of, I don't know, it might be too late of a topic for next week. What's going on with Nick Saban and Jimbo Fisher?
It's the same stuff. It's the same.
Sanders.
See, from that end, Saban just said some stupid things about it. And
well, yeah, but we're probably going to see more of stuff being said like that now, is Bingo. What I mean. I'm not trying to
We're already talking about it. Here we are, right?
This is just the beginning. This is not, I'm not here to talk. I don't care about who is arguing with who. The subject upon which they are arguing about is why I'm interested.
It's so complex. It's such a complex issue. It really is.
I mean, this is what we voted for. And so, I mean, it's got to have to become regulated, because they're already saying throwing a kid $1 million, throwing a 17-year-old.
I mean, at some kind of cap, at least, you can only
$1 million.
And not to say it's a cap, a permanent cap, but let's say you cap it at this certain amount and the rest of it goes into a trust. You know what I mean?
I think that there should be there should be help. Some of that money that gets paid to these students, I think that should, I don't know, some of it should go to helping the community that they came from, or the school system, the public. I think there needs to be more money taken from they kind of do it with the lotto, don't they? Mm-hmm. Some of the when someone wins the lotto, or is some of the money that's ready for the lotto, doesn't it help funding schools in Florida?
Well, it was supposed to. like all of the proceeds
so like,
for sales of lottery
I
tickets.
mean,
The
'cause,
problem
like,
is, but the problem is, Tonk, the second that they passed that law, they took the original budget and squandered it. Now lottery is the only thing funding education, and by itself, it's not enough. It was
okay.
supposed to be a supplement.
Right. Okay. Exactly. All right. So yeah.
You know,
So
that was the fallacy. That's why people today say, oh, that was a big lie. No, it actually wasn't. The lottery did go to schools. It's the only thing going to schools, and it's not enough.
hell
You know?
no. No, that's
So,
what I mean. Like, this kid don't need $1 million.
and again, CB, I wasn't necessarily saying a permanent cap, but cap it at a certain amount and then put the rest of it in a trust. The whole thing is, and again, I'm not saying that that's what I favor. I'm saying that's an option. And to your point, if I was to take your side, I would say you're right. Let's just call it what it is then, a professional league. Let's be honest here. I don't have any problem with that. Let him compete directly with the NFL, XFL, USFL, CFL, whoever.
I mean, like 18-year-old, like.
I mean, at what point is it just another professional league?
Yeah, I mean, shit, college is professional as hell. I mean, it's literally where we draft from. It's literally the pathway to the NFL.
And I don't have a problem calling that at that. I'm not saying I'm taking one position or another here. I really don't. Like Tonk said, it's such a complex issue, and there's so much more to come and discuss that I really don't know where I'm at on it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's gonna take.
I take the default position of students.
Like,
these students should get what they're worth.
CBA threes, like you in here, having the hard conversations, man. Appreciate it.
Where was that? I'm sorry.
Just with everybody, like everybody talking right now. This is what we need. Like,
we appreciate it. We don't mean to,
the more people talk to each other and share their experience and educate and knowledge of the subject, it's sharing.
Yeah, my default position is the not that the students should necessarily get theirs, but that if the colleges are going to make money hand over fist over their image, then they should be. Yes, I default to that position.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
Or something similar to that, like as part of I don't know, like we just need money to start going. Like what we just talked to a teacher, like we need more funding to go to schools. We really, really, really need it.
Mm-hmm.
Like we really, really need it. So like maybe that state that you're going to go to has like a school tax. So it's for the whole state,
right?
Not per student, not per school. It's for the whole state. And like, look, if we're going to have millions of dollars coming through here for individual people, you're going to have to pay taxes on it. And it should go to like, I don't think people would really have a problem with taxes if they knew exactly where it went.
Or that if they could trust that that's what was actually going on with it.
And I mean, I don't know. I just think that like we need to like that. I think that would be an intuitive way to, and I'm not trying to pull money away from kids and stuff like that, but.
Well, you are an idealist, bro. I'll give you credit for that.
We just need more help in our school system. It's terrible. It sucks. Like I want
ultimately what I think we're going to see is a breakaway from the college football programs from these schools, and these schools are literally just going to be sponsors for a professional team in a professional.
I mean, league. You know what, dude? The schools can make their own league. They have so much money. They don't even need the NCAA.
Well, they already have their league.
I think the NCAA, honestly, I think some of the reason NCAA did go through and approve all this is so they could keep the power of being the officiator of college sports. You know what I mean? Like, I think that they right. All right, we're gonna have.
They're like, if anybody's gonna be a league, it's gonna be called the NCAA, right?
The SEC and the Pac-12 and the Big Ten. If they wanted to, they just make their. It's like they don't need the NCAA.
Right.
So
right.
I think the NCAA.
So you're right. Fine. You're right. It's maneuvering. The NCAA is maneuvering to be that league. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I'm not saying that's a good or bad thing. I think it's just a
that's
situation.
Exactly what I'm saying. It is what it is. Call it what it is. If it's a professional league, let's call it that.
And
they can be taxed and like everybody else. And we
just need more help for these schools, man. It's terrible. I see it all over the country. Or
the other solution is you ban image and likeness altogether. In other words, the colleges aren't able to make money off these players likeness.
Well, like, okay, so
that's the only other solution. Take all the money away.
It's not. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, if the kid isn't playing there anymore, like it's, I don't think I like, you mean like a royalties kind of thing or
but
something
that's
like
what the
that.
issue is, because what's happening, Tonk, is that all the while, this is where the contention started. If, let's say, Nike or somebody wanted to use a college player's image for branding or whatever, even if it was a local car dealership, they couldn't give that money to the student. They would have to give it to the college. The college would be making the money off that marketing.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And so the argument is, well, that should go to the students. That should go to the adult whose image that money's being made off of. That's literally what started the issue. So now they've said, now the NCAA has said that it is now legal. It's okay for Booster A, local car dealership, to come in and say, hey, Robbie, come over here and do us a commercial locally and we'll give you a couple $100,000. You know what I mean? But they're not doing that for Joe Blow offensive linemen, is my point. So the NCAA sold it as all the students are going to get paid. No, it's still only going to be a select few at the top who came from patrician families. Maybe some of them might be plebes, but it's still going to be the same people at the top getting the same money. It's just going to be out in the open legal now.
Exactly. Like,
that's why we think Nick Saban is a dick for saying what he said, because he knows damn well he's already been doing the same thing.
Oh yeah.
He's totally tone deaf. He thinks we're dumb.
I'm glad that this is happening, because I want to see Deion Sanders win more. He went to that school and he's coaching.
Oh, and then he accused them of paying $1 million to a student, and that was an outright slanderous lie. Deion called it out right away.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just know that they're arguing.
Well, I guess one of their students got money for an NIL. One of their students got money.
Well, hey, it's legal. It's legal.
Right.
So,
but Saban said publicly that was the school paying that kid $1 million.
I don't know. I don't know that.
That's not what happened.
But what's the difference?
Deion came out and said right away, no.
Yeah, no. I mean, hey, if you know more about it, then you know more about it.
Well, I'm just saying this is this is just the evidence for Nick Saban being a dick. That's all I was saying.
Like, seeing Deion Sanders like do well as a coach, it really excites me, because it's kind of like what I've been wanting to see is like players become coaches and do well, and especially, you know, the community he's a part of will bring more diversity upon head coaches. Like he's he's an example of what I would like to see more of. And not just specifically, you know, call out one community or the other, but we've had conversations about the NFL.
Right.
And
Deion just went in there and said, look, we're going to do everything everybody over in the Southeast is doing. Stop us.
I mean, because
you're going to have to go out. Well, he's playing the for long game. He's saying, NCAA, you're going to have to go out there and tell the world that you just banned Deion Sanders' football team because or put consequences on them because we were doing whatever. Go ahead. Go tell the world you did that to Deion Sanders' football team. And what did the NCAA do? They said, oh, NILs are legal now. Sorry. The kid should get paid. That's it. Credit to Deion. I love Deion.
But yeah, I mean, and I forgot, but I know he did well at that. Like, that team did well. I think they were in their championship for that team or that league that he's in. So like, I love hearing that. Like, I want to see Deion Sanders do, maybe go to different colleges. I mean, he's probably going to stay there for a while, because I mean, did he go there was he a student there before? I think it's like
that. I'm not sure about that. I'm not
college
sure
is
about.
It's I forgot what kind of college it's called.
I might be. Is it an
African American?
I was going to say it might be a HBCU.
Yeah, HBCU. Yeah. And but if I would love to see. I want to see him do well there.
Yeah,
I mean,
because
right. If he went to the
imagine if he
Gators,
imagine if
go to the Gators, dude.
right, exactly. Imagine if he formed a conference of HBCUs.
So
and brought them to the forefront, competing against the Big Eight and the SEC and the ACC.
HBCU.
I see what Dion's long play is. That's a brilliant man. That's total speculation, but you know.
Okay, so, but what does HBCU stand for? Historically
black colleges and universities.
Okay. Yeah.
Bethune-Cookman would be an example in Florida. Shout out to Bethune-Cookman. Always giving our Canes a tough time, or so they think.
I just recognize the Grambling symbol because it looks like the Georgia or Green Bay Packers.
Right.
And then Jackson State, I forgot what their symbol is, but
FAMU, good one.
Yeah. And I think I know. No, I don't know anybody that went there. But
FAMU is got the. By the way, guys, FAMU I believe is one of the maybe not in or out. They're perennially one of the national champion level band corps, drum corps, and band corps.
Oh yeah,
they're real deal. So like when you see the movie Drumline, like they're one of those bands. You know what I mean? Like they go to they win a lot of the competitions and all that. They're like, you know, renowned. Good group of guys up at FAMU. My music teacher, I spent a year at Palm Beach Lakes University. I mean, Palm Beach Lakes High School, and our music teacher was personal friends with the band leader, with the director at FAMU. So like his band, he tried to model our high school band kind of after his, and did a good job of it. They were exceptional. They won a lot of district prizes too, you know.
All right. Well,
the cool thing was their school colors, Tonk, were the same as my beloved Lake Worth was, so it was cool. I could wear all my Lake Worth gear and fit right in. Maroon and white.
Oh, maroon.
They added the gray.
My personal
right. Well, they added the gray. They had maroon, gray, and white, but we were maroon and white, but it still worked.
Sal, how was he fighting uphill battle? You mean like with the money stuff or being a coach? Because I mean, I don't know. I mean, he started.
I guess it is a big Leviathan that he's facing. I just happen to believe he has the stamina and willpower to get it.
Dude, Deion Sanders can accomplish anything he puts his mind
in the long term, and it may take a long time. Sal, to your point,
he's just a badass. Like he can do anything he puts his mind to. So I have total confidence that,
and it may be done by him from beyond the grave. You know what I mean? Let's say Sal makes a good point. It's going to take a long time. And so it may be a foundation of his that continues the uphill battle, you know. I don't want to be morbid or nothing, but you know, we all have a limited time on this planet, you know.
But yeah, it was interesting to see him coach. I don't know. I just always liked Deion Sanders. Just, you know, his just attitude and
total dog, man.
You know,
total dog.
And just to be a defensive player like that and have the records that he has, it's just crazy. Like that's such a
and to get away with that haircut, even today.
You don't see.
Back then,
we haven't really had another superstar. What was he play safety a lot?
Corner. He was corner.
We didn't who. I mean, there was Joe Hayden who played on the Gators. He plays for the Steelers now.
But don't forget Deion. Don't forget Deion could take any punt back to the house at any time.
I think he even played offense.
They'd stick him on. Yeah, they would stick him on punt returns. Sometimes wide receiver. They would stick him on punt returns, and he'd take it at will.
It's just crazy, like how just to be like that badass at sports and like. Because I always forget. I know that what's his name, who won a World Series and a Super Bowl. Bo Jackson.
Oh yeah.
But did Deion Sanders win a World Series and a Super Bowl too?
He was with the Braves during that time that they were making runs. I don't know.
I want to say he did.
I do know they got that famous play where he jumped the guy on an infield home run. He ended up jumping the guy at the plate or something. Yeah, good old Deion. baseball player.
Yeah, I think I have a couple cards.
We're terrible. Why?
No, it says he was the only one to win a Super Bowl and a World Series, but Bo Jackson did too.
Right. Well, I don't know if Bo Jackson. No, Bo Jackson. Royals didn't win a World Series. I can't imagine the Royals winning a World Series until like recently.
I thought he did.
Well, yeah, CB. Of course he's won. He's won at life, dude. yeah. You of course you got that point, man. We get it.
Hold on.
He's won at life. That's you're making a different point.
Who, me?
No, CB is. He says the money is legal. He's leveraging his status to get his kids deals. He's already won. And I'm like, yeah, well, yeah, he's won at life. We know that.
But no.
I got
so
you,
Bo Jackson never won a World Series. I guess he just played.
I know you think I'm terrible anyway, CB. Don't worry.
I guess he just played in one, but he never actually won one.
Right. Yeah. He played with the Royals, and I don't remember the Royals winning a World Series.
Why I thought he won both.
Because he's a badass like that. And
That's
it's not
crazy,
a bad presumption, you know.
That's crazy, dude. He won and he won I think he won 2 Super Bowls. One with the 49ers and one with Dallas.
Bo Jackson? Oh,
no,
Dion. Yeah, I believe you're right.
Freaking baller. I'm reading it right
here. And it could have been the 2 games.
His son went to school with my cousin at it was called American Heritage in Del Rey.
No kidding.
The Gerber twins went there. Deion Sanders' son went there.
Wow. I've never heard of that school.
Who else? There was another.
So you're saying that's the school I need to go to if I want to find some inside sauces? Like, hey kid, who's your dad? Your daddy play for the Dolphins? Give me some.
I don't ever tell anyone to go to schools and do shit.
Right, exactly. Not these days. Back in the day, that would have been totally natural. Like you go ask a kid a question, no big deal, you know.
Yeah, it's where I met one of my good friends. Was from that school and hanging with my cousin. One of my good friends I met.
No, I wasn't even talking about the kids though. Like maybe the teachers got some inside info. Like, yo, you're teaching.
Oh, you know what's crazy? Was Steve-O's sister taught there.
Right.
Because I knew that already, but then I ran into Steve-O in Lake Worth one time. Like I saw him. So he was like walking up to it. It was Eckerd's back when there was still Eckerd's. It was 2005, so Eckerd's wasn't around much longer.
Right.
And I pulled into the Eckerd's and I saw him walking up, and I was like, "Damn, that guy looked a lot like Steve-O." I was like, he looked identical to Steve-O.
Yeah, when you're in South Florida and somebody looks like somebody, you can actually default to it being that person.
Like,
I'm pretty sure right after shortly we drafted Tua. And he had come into town. I'm pretty sure I saw him walking down Collins Avenue like early in the morning one morning near the beach, like kind of just getting his feels. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, Boost headphone or Bose headphones. I mean, whatever the type they were. I mean, it had to be him. Okay. It had to be.
Miami's not that far away from West Palm.
No, I'm talking about Tua.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Tua's in Miami.
Yeah, but you said you saw him.
Off Collins Avenue in Miami.
Yeah. Oh, it's in Miami. Okay, all right.
Miami Beach. It's actually on the island, like right next to the beach, which is like, it like right down the road. You walk down that road and there's like a little mall with a Saks Fifth Avenue and all. Like it's a place where somebody that just got $38 million would be walking down, checking out the place in the morning while it's quiet. You know what I mean? It all made sense. It had to be him. It just had to be.
Miami's a crazy city.
I think it was him enough that I'll tell people I saw Tua walking down the road.
Yeah. Well, so I was like, how do I figure out if that's really him? So I walked up behind him because I was going to the Eckerd's anyways. And I saw through his shirt the big ass tattoo of himself.
Right. You're like,
And that's,
Steve-O!
and that's what I was looking for, honestly. I was like, all right, how to tell it's him.
And if he turns around and gives you a weird look,
so
you're like,
I didn't
Steve-O's
want to
back.
I mean, this was back when I didn't even have a camera phone yet. Like I think I did, but next time I hadn't had camera phones yet, really.
Hey,
And
CB,
so
throw the ball tomorrow. Sorry, Tonk.
I didn't have a camera, so I just went up to him in the store and I said, "Are you Steve-O?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh shit! What? It's championship game tomorrow? That's dope, dude."
Throw the ball.
There was a league out here that was partly owned by Russell Wilson. I wonder if he sold it all. But I've been meaning to go to those games, the flag football games, just to try to support that because I don't know. It might be where football ends up in 30 years, dude. With like all the rules and and concussion. I mean, I don't know, man. It might be what, and I don't know if we can keep it going. Like I would love to see the NFL keep going as like that sport of football, but it might be freaking capture the flag or no flag football. But I mean, I don't know. Like that's why I was trying to get into it and start watching it and try to support it and stuff like that because it's just a better way for kids to grow up playing football. Like it reduces the impact on them until maybe high school or later when they can handle it more.
Hey, and CB, just don't be afraid to throw one to that tall, goofy white kid you got on your team that nobody ever wants to throw the ball to. Give him a chance. I bet he catches it. Good luck to you, bro, though. Appreciate the work y'all dads do out there and coaches and stuff like that, getting our young bucks up.
So, all right, well, long, it's probably 2 hours, I think.
Yeah. So, did you want to wrap things up? I can help you do that.
Yeah.
All right. I don't really have much as a final thought, except that I appreciate everybody being here.
Thank you, CB83. Everyone else, AA. You said some nice stuff in the beginning that I like too. Shake Money, you're always in here. Shake Money's always in here. Sal, I think I've seen Sal before too.
Shake Money live because it's Friday night. Usually he listens to us in the morning on his way to work.
Oh, well,
Friday night though.
TMI, you gotta catch it, man. You gotta catch it, man. It ain't on every Tuesday.
Well, Tonk, when we missed Tuesday, it was Shake Money that really hurt me. That I was like, damn, that's who we really let down, bro.
Well, thank you, Shake Money.
Because Wednesday morning, he had Wednesday morning he had to switch over to Undisputed or something.
Oh, for real? You be listening to us instead of like a show like that?
He listens to us in the morning, so whoever it is, he's replacing us with them. I mean, he's replacing them with us.
Dude, that's like a serious compliment, dude.
I'm telling you, bro.
That is
humbling, ain't it?
Like I've gotten some.
It's you right here, don't it?
I'm not gonna I've gotten some pretty good compliments so far from doing this that really made me feel good, and that did too. It's one of the best ones. I can't say it's the best because I've gotten some. And it's hard to have the best when you
it's hard to say, right, because then we'd be disparaging everybody else. But Shake, that one really hits us good, man. Yeah, trust me.
I appreciate that. Like
that's the kind of thing that actually, like, when I feel like I don't want to do a show or something, it's thoughts like that are like, no, I have a obligation, and I appreciate the compliment. It really does.
No, that's really awesome, man. I appreciate that. That's
although
dope.
He says he does catch your show live because it's before his bedtime.
Even better, dude. I love to that's like what someone say that's like really responsible. Not that people.
Well, I try to give him some open mic to listen to.
I mean, that's some shit that I would say, and it's tight because that's some shit that I would say, and that's fucking amazing. I mean, if you got to watch it the next day. It's all good to me, dude. Like, however you watch the show, like, I appreciate it. And like, those are professionals I'm competing against, legit professionals.
Mm-hmm.
And FS1 has, what's his name? Shannon Sharp. I like Shannon Sharp.
Shay. I like Shay too.
So, like, to have to compete
He's completely wrong about everything, but I love him to death.
He's like, oh, come on, Skip.
Skip.
Skip's just like talking the whole time.
How many dudes you want on it, Skip?
And I like Shannon Sharp though, man.
You best be getting out that diet, dude.
He's a cool dude. But anyways, but thank you. Like that's awesome, man. And to be able to compete against professionals like that and win is like that's some badass shit, dude.
And he said it to me enough, Tonk, over the weeks in other chats and stuff.
Yeah,
and it's genuine. He's not just blowing sunshine up our ears, man.
Thank you for pointing it out. It's not like I wasn't paying attention, but
sure, but I was just meaning that I've seen it so much enough that it's genuine. It's definitely genuine.
No, that's dope, dude.
Not that we had to question.
I mean, dude, honestly, when I pick the topics and stuff, I really try to pick things that are wholesome, you know, and they're not always the easiest, but I don't want to just talk about just regular everyday, you know, stuff, even though this stuff happens on the regular, but like it's you know, it's more than just.
We may have put Tony Pepperoni to sleep though, just saying. But that's okay. That's a small that's a small price to pay. I mean, I like the guy, but if we got Tony Pepperoni falling asleep, then we still did all right, bro.
It's I mean, usually people fall asleep to something they want to listen to. You know, I mean, like I don't see someone putting on something that they hate to try to go to sleep with. I'm trying to go to sleep. Let's put on some Evil Dead. Like if you love going to sleep, then you're gonna love Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Somebody cut this guy off.
If you love E.T., you're gonna love I Know What You Did Last Summer.